and welcome everyone to the episode 0 of After the Fall, our brand new show here on Scryervision. Happy to have everyone here tonight. Do say hello in the chat. Hethbean, welcome and thank you for subscribing again. This is our character building episode. However, if you are interested more in the setting, I did just post the 2 world building streams that we did on YouTube. So if you go over to our YouTube channel, which is just at Scryervision, you can find those there. Tonight, I am joined by some really spectacular people. I know they are happy to be here and excited to build some characters. We will start by introducing ourselves. Who would like to go first?
I'll go first.
I'll go.
Oh, John, you got in there before Clarity did, so go ahead.
My name is John Bailey. I'm at Boatloads Bailey on Twitter, I'm kind of trying to shift I did a movie review podcast from about 2016 till this year, and I've shifted it to YouTube, and that's Popcorn Junkie on YouTube. Not a whole lot, just trying to review the new releases as they come out. And then I'm hoping to start streaming soon as a VTuber, where I play visual novels but use silly voices like Christopher Walken or Scottish accent as generic as whatever character comes up. And when that goes live, I'll talk about that later. But yeah.
Absolutely.
And then I've learned about Scryervision because we both support Nash over at Radio Dead Air, and when I saw there was an opening, I wanted to support the show and become a part of it.
Awesome. Well, we're glad to have you here, John. Thank you very much for being the brave person to introduce themselves first. Clarity, you almost introduced yourself first, but you didn't, so you get to go second.
No, it's just as good. Hi, I am Clarity. At Clarity Graves on Twitter, where I mostly just retweet Scryervision, but sometimes say something original. I've known Ryan for a while. I am very excited to finally be in one of his games, and that's pretty much it. I don't do a whole lot else.
All right.
Very excited to be here, though.
All right. Awesome. Thank you, Clarity. Appreciate you being here. Who wants to go third? Or who does
third.
not want to be last?
I can go third.
Okay.
I'm Erin, also known as WeGo562 on Twitch and all the things. When I'm not doing this, I'm playing video games on my own channel if you want to check me out sometime. But I'm excited to play a role-playing game on Twitch instead of a video game. It's going to be exciting. So
I agree. It's going to be a lot of fun. And thank you very much, Erin. We appreciate you being here. And I got a question regarding your video game streams. Did that pizza ever get delivered?
Yes.
Okay,
yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Oh, it did. It definitely did.
Oh, good. And last, but certainly not least, we have Anderath himself.
Hey, I'm Tyler Lee. I'm Writer R. Lee on the Twitch and the Twitter. There's no reason to follow me, but do it anyway. I've known Ryan for quite a while at this point. Played in a couple of his games. He's also played in a couple of mine. And he finally, for some odd reason, broke and decided to let me in Scryervision. I wore him down.
To be fair, you've been part of Scryervision since the launch. You were Anderath on the World's Greatest Dungeon.
Let's be clear. He let me in a very controlled environment. Now he's somewhat let me off the chain. We'll see what happens. I have too many character concepts. Also,
good. Tonight is the night to whittle some of those down and get some constructive feedback. So you may notice just above my head there is a logo that is not Dungeons and Dragons. It is the Cypher System logo, which is another role-playing game. what? We are going to be doing this particular game utilizing a different system, which is a little bit more narratively driven. There's less dice rolling and a lot more creative use of assets and skills. Because with the Cypher system, I don't roll. They roll. Attacking, defending, skill tests, everything, it's all 1d20. They have to hit a particular number that I get to set, but they get to lower that number by using skills, assets, and ciphers, and then just, expending a little bit of their hit points for effort. And if they make the roll, awesome, good things happen. If they don't, the story doesn't, or the test doesn't necessarily fail. It just advances the narrative in a more negative fashion. Kind of counter to what they would have wanted, perhaps. So,
slightly less than optimal.
Yes. You might get, hit by an arrow. Nobody wants to get hit by an arrow.
Speak for yourself.
No. So that's the Cypher system in a nutshell. You'll get to know it a lot better over the coming weeks, but we are going to have a lot of fun with it, and if you've never played it before, there's a lot of really good resources for it online. It is by Monty Cook Games, and it's sort of a generic role-playing game because you can use the core rules in any setting you want. You want to do a fantasy game? Awesome. They got fantasy rule sets. If you want to do a modern game, they've got that. You want to do a hard sci-fi space drifter game? Boom, they got that. What we'll be doing is actually combining several of their genres into one. Post-apocalyptic, modern, fantasy, all together in one jumbled mess that I hope is going to work. I really hope it's going to work. So our main mission tonight is to build some characters, so why don't we go ahead and get started with that. Each of you will get a chance to introduce your character concepts, and I'd asked each of you to come up with at least 3, but no more than 5 character concepts to introduce tonight. Okay, Clarity is ready to go. For those of you not familiar with the Cypher system, every Cypher system character is comprised of 3 parts: an adjective, noun, and a verb. So every character can be described by the phrase, I am an adjective, noun, who verbs. So they'll be sort of framing these, hopefully, in that fashion. So, who would like to begin? Clarity,
I'll go
you were
first
ready
for
to
this
go
one.
there. You were showing us your character note cards. So
Yeah,
why don't we start with you?
Yeah. Well, I've got 4 of them. Do you want me to go through all of them, or do we want to bounce
Yes,
around?
we're going to go through all of yours, and then we'll bounce to the next person. Once everybody's presented, we'll talk together. We'll build the best team we possibly can. Chat, we definitely want to hear your input as well. And once we've got our team built, chat, you're going to have a chance to ask questions about their new characters that they just made up. So that'll be fun. A little bit improv. All right. Clarity, take it away.
I will start with the least tragic backstory.
Oh gosh.
Oh
We
boy.
have Joanne Higgins, or just Jo. She is a beneficent warrior who helps her friends. So she's sort of a paladin, a little bit, I guess. She's very athletic. She likes interacting with people. Her main goal is to get a boyfriend or a girlfriend, because she has a hard time with that, because people are intimidated by her because she's just about 6 feet tall. And the most tragic thing about her life is that her parents were hardcore doomsday preppers before the fall. And so she has to deal with that craziness, but otherwise she's just a big, lovable hunk. Next we have Elena, who is a wealthy speaker who is idolized by millions. She is a former child actress before the fall. and was visiting her aunt when the fall occurred, and so has been separated from her parents. But she has blossomed into her new role following the fall and is a member of way too many clubs, including the student council, and seeks to be an influential member of Newcastle. Is her ultimate goal, other than the one that she doesn't tell anyone. Next we have Melanie. Melanie is a creative adept who consorts with the dead. She is a very talented artist, and was a very odd child. And when the fall occurred, she gained some arcane powers of the necromantic persuasion, which has just estranged her a little bit more from society. And only her parents, the local pastor, and her closest friends know of her powers. And most don't take super favorably towards it, especially her parents, which is unfortunate. And then my personal favorite, we have Nell, or Nellie, but she goes by Nell. She is an impulsive explorer who rules the sea, also known as Lake Michigan. She has the most tragic backstory. She was on Lake Michigan with her mother when the fall occurred. A sudden unnatural storm appeared, followed shortly thereafter by a sea monster that she refers to as Leviathan. She barely survived, washing up on the beach for her father to save her, but the only thing she has left of her mother is her jacket. And she's a little bit of a rebel and a punk at this point.
Helps if I'm unmuted, right? Those are your 4 concepts?
Yep, those are the 4.
Thank you very much for sharing. Are they all human?
I hadn't decided. So
That's fine.
they could all be human, or we can make them different. I'm not too specific on any
There's
of them.
no mechanical difference between them. It's something we can decide later on. So, yeah, no big deal if you haven't got it right now.
I figured Nellie would probably be more sea elf, a little bit. But apart from that, nothing specific.
Sounds good. All right. Thank you very much, Clarity. That actually filled up my entire last page of that notepad. So, who wants to go next and fill up another?
I'll go.
All right, Tyler, take it away.
All right. Prepare for this amalgamation of flavor, I guess. So my first one is Corin, and he is an intelligent explorer who calculates the incalculable. He's a dragonborn, or at least I think I envision him as a dragonborn. A little bit of tech flavor on there because I thought that was really, really cool. He and his parents came to Newcastle, obviously after the change happened. His dad was military, so they moved around quite a bit, which I assume quite possibly his dad has taken up some kind of military position or something within Newcastle. His mom's just really smart, really good with stuff. He himself, most would consider completely lazy. However, he is incredibly intelligent. He just does not put any effort into his schoolwork or anything. He knows how to handle himself because his dad has forced him into training. He is most proficient, though none would say terribly skilled, but he is most proficient with firearms, despite the fact of them not being very many. However, he finds pleasure in tinkering, messing with machines, stuff like that. He loves auto vehicles, loves repairing, loves tinkering. And he is definitely looking to get out of Newcastle, despite the fact that his father would very much like him to become part of the guard or another military position. He is ready to get out and explore and learn more. The next one. The backstories get more tragic as I go along. The next one is...
Is that going to be a theme tonight? We start with the least tragic and work our way to the...
Maybe.
I'm just starting with my favorite and going down. That just happened to be how it worked. Second one is Lexington. He is an elf with a little bit of magic flavor. He is a learned adept who casts spells. Kind of the other side of being pretty intelligent from what Corin would be. Lexington is one of the brightest minds in Newcastle, but he loves, biology, botany, history. Always has a book with him. This has had quite an impact on his social skills, of which he has none. Aside from the one or two friends that he probably has, he usually keeps to himself, reading his books. He and his father gained their magical abilities after the change happened. Sadly, on their way to Newcastle, he lost his mother. But his father has very much encouraged him to keep pursuing and learning about his magical abilities, which he is all too happy to. No social graces whatsoever. Third in line is Marcus, a tough warrior who never says die. I think he's probably a tiefling, got some combat flavor. Marcus likes to fight. He was orphaned around the time the change took place, and he came to Newcastle with a bunch of other refugees. He doesn't pick on people, but he's very, very prone to stepping in if somebody's getting picked on, and even prone to throwing the first fist if someone wants to step up. He doesn't need much of a reason. He's not a bully, but he will fight. He's doing some castle guard training just because it allows him to train with weapons and stuff. But he's definitely up for leaving, so maybe he can leave with his friends, or just so he doesn't have to follow anybody else's rules, he can just go out and have fun and fight new things. And then the final one is Virgil. He is, if we end up going with this one, this is where I'll need help. I can't decide. He's either honorable or mystical. Warrior who channels divine blessings. And I picture him as a dark elf. He's a warrior with some magic flavor. Kind of cleric-like. He was also orphaned around the time the change happened. And he has kind of a calling to these divine powers he's found himself with. The divine calling, as best he can describe it, is essentially the god or goddess of death. Not of death like you would see in the movies or anything like that that's super dark or anything, just of balance. Undead is not good. Death is about balance. He essentially tried to embrace this kind of quote-unquote religious background in Newcastle with some places like Luther's Chosen, and dropped out because he didn't really like the way they were. He does like the After School Magic Club because he also wants to learn more about these divine powers that he has found himself with. More than anything, though, he has learned to fight. He's quite good at fighting. He's very calm, loves to help people. In fact, that's what he wants to do after he wants to leave and search for more things that can help him figure out what this divine god or goddess of death is showing him, and also help people. Use his gifts to help people.
He sounds like a great pairing for Melanie.
Quite possibly.
Yeah, definitely look for those connections between characters, because your characters are supposed to be friends when this starts. So, thank you very much, Tyler. Those are some good characters. Was Virgil a human?
Virgil was, I believe, a drow or dark elf, since this isn't
dark elf. Thank you.
This isn't D&D.
Yep, we are not playing in a D&D setting, so we can't use the words drow, beholder, ithalid. I mean, there's a list. Yeah. So, all right. Thank you very much, Tyler. Who would like to go next?
I'll go.
Go for it.
I initially didn't have as much in depth, so this is coming up off the top of my head. But the basics I have 4, covering the main sort of roles that I think would fit the party. First up is Hugh Irons, who before the fall was a jock, football player kind of guy. And then while the fall happened, he went from human to a dwarf. And so he went from this big jock, athletic type to a short, stocky character. But he's a dwarf who's a kind skills warrior, metes out justice. And even before the fall, he had intentions of like either going to the police force or the military or something. He wanted to ensure that he could help people and that using his strength and in that capacity. And since the fall has joined the Guardians, the sports team, and is looking to join the Castle Guard eventually once he is finished with high school. Basically, he's kind of he's not dumb, but he's he's the kind-hearted guy who thinks he's kind of like that one Tyler had where that similar character type where he's tough and he wants to protect people and fight for people and he's not going to start a fight, but he's going to make sure it finishes. Next up is Isaac Patterson. Before the fall, he was he was a dork. He introverted, kept to himself. He was big into engineering and tech. When the fall happened, he became an elf, and he's inquisitive, technology adept, conducts weird science. He, since the fall, gained some magical ability, not a whole lot, but he wanted to try and figure out how to incorporate tech, what remaining tech there is with this newfound magic. And so he's big into experiments, trying new things, seeing like, what if we combined this with this? What if we can learn how to make a gun, shoot fireballs, things of that. He loves figuring out how to combine these newfound magic with whatever technology was still surviving the fall. And so it led him to essentially join the STEM club. He became a little bit more wanting to, stay in his lane. He was part of essentially that beforehand. And he's probably thinking if he's going to do anything, it's something involving labor. But he just wants to try and play around in the space, essentially. He loves figuring out how things work and how to make them work in ways that were never thought possible. After that, I got Chloe Davenport. She's a halfling since the fall. Probably, she didn't have much of a, fairly normal backstory. I didn't come up with any tragic backstories following the fall, but she would probably be the most tragic character I have, in that since the fall, she's been wanting to try and salvage what she could of the old world. And so she uses her newfound size to try and get into spaces that she couldn't, the other people can't, and figure out, try to salvage whatever there is. So she's hardy stealth explorer, explores dark spaces, and part of the Wilderness Scouts, and is essentially looking to go into salvage just to try and reclaim whatever parts of the old world there are still left. And then my last character is Annabelle Annie Usher. She was a sort of what's her name? Elle Woods type of character. Very very happy, very energetic, very excitable, and very part of that popular clique beforehand. When the fall happened, she became a sort of demon-born thing. She grew horns. Her skin turned red, and while initially it kind of threw her for a loop, she wanted to try and make the best of things, And so she's a weird knowledge speaker, revels in trickery. And so she's she decided since the fall to try and use her newfound demonic sensibilities and magical abilities in order to speak out and be outspoken. And in fact, she joined theater since the fall, and she's considering salvage just because there's no real like entertainment since the end of the world. But she wants to try and uplift the people around her and use like the magic in more of like showman-y type of ways. And she, despite the fact that things are dour and bleak, she still likes to look on the bright side and be happy and peppy.
I like it. Those are 4 excellent concepts, John. Thank you very much. And for saying that you didn't have them fleshed out very well, pretty fleshed out, actually. So
that was all off the top of my head.
That was excellent improv.
Make another one. Go.
All right. This one's the turtle. And you see he was a member of 4 brothers.
I'm on board.
But which
I
was
have a very similar
Leonardo?
concept.
Oh man, can someone be a turtle?
Can we
No,
get
you can-
let me just-
can we get turtle people in the world at some point?
I mean,
What's
they have
this? Oh,
they got to be there somewhere, right?
That's
Yeah, where are the turtles at? They're on the beaches.
So you're taught by a rat? That's weird.
Yeah, he was the shop teacher, man.
Yeah,
Makes sense.
that's why his name is Splinter.
Oh,
You didn't even mean to do that, did you?
I didn't.
Oh,
That
no.
was great.
But I'm going to say that I did.
Yep.
The problem is the shop teacher always had it out for the head lunch lady. They called her the Shredder.
Or the Shredder.
Wow. Okay. Next
I like this.
season.
I
Next
like this.
season.
I like this completely original and not copyrighted story that we're
No
coming
one's
up
done
with.
this before.
No,
Oh,
Oh, I think The Simpsons probably did it.
Probably.
sure, but they've
No.
done everything.
No.
Aaron, you are our last to present.
I
Would you like to
know.
give us your character concepts?
Yeah, I am the only one who only did 3.
What if she
Sorry.
said- What if she said no?
Nope. Click.
Nope.
Logs off. See ya.
Been fun.
I've got that
Bye.
dummy graphic if I need to,
There
so, you know.
No,
Good.
I've got 3 characters here. I'll just start with my favorite, and most of these are like characters that I'm willing to change aspects of them to like fit in. Like Quinn is my favorite character that I've come up with. She's a halfling. She's a creative, and I am between adept and explorer for her, and she's has awakened dreams. She's a bit of like one of those creative weirdos that like she makes her own books out of leaves. Like she grinds them up and pastes them together and has just journals that she keeps and creates her own pencils out of charcoal she finds and makes beads out of random salvage she goes and finds. Like her goal in life is to just explore the wilderness and salvage things and make the best out of. She's basically a hippie in the afterlife. So yeah, that's Quinn. She's my favorite.
She would be great with either of my smart characters because they would just consistently be like, "Do you just have more pencils and paper? Do you?
Yeah.
I've run out."
Let me just crush some leaves and paste them together. It'll take like a day to dry. It's fine.
It's fine. I'll come back tomorrow.
Yeah. No, Quinn's pretty chill. I like her a lot. And then Rain is an elf. She's just like calm. And I had adept / speaker for her. It depended on what we needed and commands mental powers. So she has a little bit of extra mental abilities, but she doesn't share that with anybody but her closest friends, that she's got these extra mental abilities because she doesn't want to like flaunt. Then she can do that to everyone. She just tries to come under the radar in the world because her parents are pretty strict and she doesn't really follow along their thoughts of how things are. She kind of has her own little outfit that she'll wear at school, but when she goes home, she changes because her parents are not a little happy with the way that she would like to be. So her preference would just be, her goal in life would be, make a life for herself away from her family. And then my last one, Lonnie, she's an orc, clumsy warrior who performs feats of strength. She's just strong, beefy gal who's I've described as She-Hulk but clumsy. She just thick, and her family, because her family turned into orcs, they went into like the lumber and timber business, and they want her to take on that strength role of doing timber, but she just really wants to have like a pet cow and like have a farm. And she just doesn't want to be a strong girl. She just wants to be a soft girl who has a pet cow. But
instead of She-Hulk, She-Kronk.
Yeah. she's Kronk and She-Hulk mixed. Yeah. It's a good mix. That's Lonnie.
All right. Thank you very much, Aaron. With that, we've got 15 awesome character concepts. And I'm just going to run through everybody's really quick to make sure I got them right on my notes here. And then I'm going to open it up to you four to discuss. So, for clarity, we have Joanne Higgins, a beneficent warrior who helps their friends. Elena, a wealthy seeker idolized by millions. Melanie, a creative adept who consorts with the dead. And Nell, or Nellie, an impulsive explorer who rules the waves. Tyler presented to us the Dragonborn Corin, an intelligent technological explorer who... I can't read my notes.
Calculates the incalculable.
Calculates the uncalculable. Yes, I just had calcs the uncalcs, which made no sense.
He does that too.
He's actually Celtish.
You have the elf Lexington, the learned adept who casts spells with a magic flavor. The tiefling Marcus, a tough warrior who never says die. And the dark elf Virgil, an honorable or mystical warrior who channels divine blessings. John, you gave us the options of the dwarf Hugh Irons, a kind warrior who metes out justice. The elf Isaac Patterson, an inquisitive tech adept who conducts weird science. The halfling Chloe Davenport. I almost said Depardieu, and nope, that is not what that says.
I'm okay with that too.
A hardy stealth explorer who explores dark spaces. And the Devilkin, Annie Usher, the weird knowledge speaker who revels in trickery. And then Aaron gave us a halfling named Quinn, a creative adept or explorer who has awakened dreams. The elf Rain, a calm adept or speaker who commands mental powers. And the orc Lonnie, a clumsy warrior who performs feats of strength, which chat has really, really latched on to, Aaron.
So now we just need to pick the other three.
It's just the himbos and the bimbos are really just hitting it in chat today.
Everybody loves them.
Everybody loves
So,
the
with
bimbo.
that, I'm going to open it up to you four to have a conversation about which characters you liked, which ones maybe you didn't like or have ideas for, and try to present all information in a constructive manner. Let's not tear each other down. Let's build each other up, and yes, end each other's characters. And one thing to keep in mind, your characters need some sort of common bond that has made them friends. So if it is a team of himbos and bimbos, there you go. Done.
We're all just really into working out.
Work it out. Yeah, we got Disney's Hercules. We've got Kronk. We've got Chris Hemsworth from Ghostbusters.
All right, so players, go ahead and take it away.
Hey,
Hi.
I want to play all my characters.
I'm okay with playing what. Like I said, I created these just to make sure that we were covered in any sort of case. So I'm not partial to any one over the other. I do kind of like what I came up with for Isaac, this sort of mad scientist of the post-apocalypse. Or Annie, I think would be fun. Annie, I just wanted to try to make a bard happen. I think that's the closest I could come up with.
I like that all of my characters literally require someone else to have made the first move and become their friends, because they're all just either so weird or so isolated, which is on brand, I feel like, for me. I'm up for playing any of them. I will say my two favorites are definitely Corin and Lexington, just because I really like the idea of finally getting to play a character that is just super smart. Because there's so many times, and I think Ryan will agree with this, is when you're playing, there's so many times you have to separate yourself from what the player knows and what the character actually knows. And when you play a super smart character, you get to separate less. You can actually be, well, I am a smart person. I might actually know that. And especially Corin, because I usually just play in D&D stuff, so having that tech flavor just sounds really cool, especially with a post-apocalyptic world.
I mean, Quinn would probably fit in with most people because she's chill and laid back, and would salvage parts for tech people while she's out. If she found parts, like, that would be an easy connection for her. And I don't think she would have a hard time connecting with any of the other people. Lonnie, I mean, yeah, she would just be a lovable gal.
You're my friend now.
Yeah.
Just carrying Lexington under one arm while he's like reading a book.
I'm having a hard time remembering what all of everyone's characters were.
I got mine are easy.
You're
just
muted again, I think, Brian.
I'm muted again. Huh.
Yep.
Mine are easy. Just remember two smarts, a tough, and a weirdo. That's how I judge.
That's it. That's the name of the show.
That's the name.
Two smarts and a weirdo? Wait,
Two smarts,
a tough, and a weirdo.
Two smarts, a tough, and a weirdo.
There you go.
Thursday nights on ABC.
Yep. I like that the other, like, three of them I give a qualifier for, and for Virgil, I'm just like, he's weird, I don't know.
Yeah, mine just think fighter, artificer, rogue, and bard.
I like the artificer. That one really appealed to me. I really liked that one.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, like, initially, like, you'd think, like, introverted, doesn't talk to anybody. I'm thinking more like, I'm trying to think of a good example. I'm trying to think of, like, a bit like Rick Moranis from Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, where he's just like,
Goofy inventor?
Yeah, madcap inventor. There's somebody else. There's like another...
The guy from Blubber.
Flubber, yeah.
The absent-minded professor?
Yeah. Exactly, that sort of thing. There's
Back
also
to the Future.
Yeah, Doc Brown from Back to the Future.
From Back to the Future. Nice.
Yeah, that sort of, something like that. Not introverted or extroverted, but like just so into what he's doing that I'm just like, even mid-conversation, he'll just be like, okay, hold on. Make note of this. Okay, what were you saying?
We'll talk to you if you talk to him. Doesn't care if you want to talk to him or not, though. You can go off. He's got stuff to do.
Well, people seem to really enjoy Isaac then. What characters that other people presented did you enjoy?
I kind of dug Nell. I just like the idea of us having, depending on how far we are from Lake Michigan, having that sort of water adept character would be interesting. Adds an interesting sort of flavor to the party.
Yeah, Nell was really cool. I also like that possibly being like, I'm really good on water, and we like never go near water, and then the first time we go near water, she's just like, now's my chance.
Ah, yes.
Nell is
Shine.
my favorite.
The
Nell is my
Aquaman
favorite.
paradox. Okay.
There was a possible weakness I wanted to explore with her,
Ooh.
with you, Ryan. Because of the crash with the boat and all of that, I wanted her to have been suffering from ARDS, which I cannot remember what it stands for, but basically I wanted her to have breathing problems, and I wasn't sure how best to incorporate that. That was something I wanted to explore with her. Otherwise, the only club she's part of is the school band.
Uh-oh.
Oh no.
Oh,
Oh no.
Uh-oh.
Someone
Clarity.
Someone froze.
The
Oh,
internet.
no.
The internet.
Oh, no.
Has made a decision. It's not Nell.
well, maybe we take a break and come back once Clarity's back.
We could certainly do that. Are about 45 minutes in here, so give me just a second to set up the break. There we go.
All right.
Yep, we will be back in just a moment. Stick around.
Oh.
Welcome back, everyone. We're super excited to be back and continue our character discussion. I'm going to turn down the music just a slight bit so people can actually hear us. So we were just talking about Clarity's character, Nell, possibly having respiratory issues, which we can definitely discuss when it comes to... Once everybody's got their characters picked, over the next week, I will have a one-on-one meeting with you to flesh out the character and get them incorporated more into the setting. So, sound good?
Mm-hmm.
All right, awesome. So, continuing on then, how are we feeling? Which characters are people really feeling called to?
Yeah, I was gonna say they're.
I'm on it.
They're.
Yeah, I was about to.
No, I was just going to say that, like, I think having Isaac seemed to be the one that people were really into. Just having that sort of madcap scientist. Whether or not we have Tyler's character who's similar, but I would love to be able to essentially play a Doc Brown type. I'm down with that.
Is our goal to have somebody from like every area, like to have a warrior, to have an adept, to have a speaker?
I think we should. Just to keep us rounded, because...
I feel like we can be rounded without having one of each class if somebody doesn't want to play.
If they've got the right flavors, yeah.
Yeah, we should at least keep some semblance of balance.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We can't...
Yeah, there's a reason you don't go into Final Fantasy with a party of all white mages.
Although...
You could!
Depends, are you facing a lot of undead?
What's the battle?
A lot of zombified creatures, you're just like, cure, and it just kills them.
What was Isaac's, class type thing?
Tech adept. So basically, yeah, artificer. Like a magic but with technology.
Right.
Other notes?
I like
Tentastorm in chat says that they vote for a girl team.
Girl team.
I have no qualms with that either.
You can do that. All of mine are girls, so that's super easy.
Yeah, same.
I did half and half just to make sure every base was covered.
Mm-hmm.
All of mine are always guys because I don't feel like I could properly represent a female.
A girl.
Should just be better than
Yeah.
play whatever and just make sure it's better. This is how it would normally be.
I mean, technically, I think Quinn's non-binary, but you know, she's leans feminine with long hair and in that sort of way, but.
Okay. Well, if there is no more discussion, what characters are going to make up this team?
Yeah, what do we not have?
We currently have an explorer. As an extra ER.
We
We
have
have an
an Aurora.
explorer and an adept. Is what we have.
And that was if we did Nell and Isaac.
That's if we did Nell and Isaac, yeah.
If we throw in
Okay.
Lonnie, that would give us a what is Lonnie's?
Warrior.
Is Lonnie, warrior. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that would cover basically fighter, mage, and rogue, and then that would give us that level of coverage.
And you also have some good fighter options over on Tyler's list too.
Yeah.
Exactly, because we've also got
You could do one of your beefy boys. What was your favorite guy, Tyler?
My favorite guy was Corin the Explorer.
Okay, that was
And
Explorer.
then, yeah, I have Corin the Explorer, Lexington the Adept, Marcus the Warrior, who is combat flavored,
Who just
and
loves to fight.
Virgil the Warrior, who is magic flavored. He's the divine guy.
Now, keep in mind, with this system, it's not exactly like D&D, where you need to have an arcane caster, a divine caster, a fighter, and a rogue to round out a party. You can build a party of all explorers, and they would all work completely differently than others, and
Yeah.
one
That's
person could be more combat-focused, one person could be more skill-focused. So don't get too set into those roles there. Pick the character that
Yeah, because
really is going to work.
I was about to say, my two explorers are definitely more, or my explorer is definitely more tech and skill based, and then my adept is,
which actually might tie into Isaac,
yeah,
who would take the tech and then make wacky inventions.
somebody's already making a theme song for Corin, so I feel like Chad is pushing
Yes, thank you, Chessity.
that. That could actually be pretty.
I'm
Corin the
cool with
Explorer?
having two explorers.
That could,
Corn, the
yeah.
Explorer.
Nell.
Yeah.
Nell definitely leans more towards the Corsair side, the swashbuckler.
And my explorer does not.
So we could definitely do that.
He prefers to, if he has to fight, he stays in the back and shoots whatever he has, and he would prefer not to fight. My adept is more studying magic and stuff, and is willing to learn, but is definitely more knowledge based. My other two guys are fighters. Like, they'll get in and be like, let's rumble, let's do it. One of them Virgil would be like, you sure you want to do this? Okay.
Yeah,
let's go.
I mean, Lonnie's not a fighter.
Marcus would punch them first and then be like, you sure you want to go? You want to keep going?
Lonnie may be beefy and can lift and be strong, but she's not going to start fights.
Now somebody will try to pick a fight with
exact
somebody, and
opposite.
Lonnie will just be like, and
No. Yeah.
If we're being honest, Nell is going to pick all the fights, even though she really, really shouldn't.
I picture Marcus, there's like a crowd or something, and somebody says something about fighting or anything, and Marcus's head pops up and he's like, somebody say fight? Somebody? Runs to the
He's the
front.
toughest guy in Letterkenny.
Yep.
For anybody who gets that reference.
It's
I
quickest.
still need to watch Letterkenny.
It's very good.
I've seen clips, and it looks like it's always sunny in Canada.
That is quite a good description, actually, from the clips I've seen. My best description for my combat flavored warrior is, if anybody ever watched Whose Line Is It Anyway? And it was the scenes in a hat, and they were like, name something that would likely to start a fight. And it's just like some guy going, "You guys want to fight?"
I remember that one. I remember that episode.
No malice in his voice or anything. Just like, "You guys want to fight?"
Yeah.
I don't know. So Corin and Isaac could have some kind of connection in some way, or at least, even if they don't have like a big connection already, throughout the adventure, they're going to feed off of each other, both being tech, one being more explorer, one being more magic based. Oh man, we could make something.
Well, I think the three we have now, Isaac and Corin, would often just go out together to just find random stuff.
Oh yeah, Corin's all about salvage because he's just like,
Quinn
more parts I can collect, the more things I can do.
Yeah.
If I can get this, if I can get this car running.
That's the only career path that Nell's interested in, because that's what allows her to leave the settlement, because he really doesn't want to be there.
I imagine Corin is also often tasked, if he's going out, his parents are probably like, "Make sure you bring back metal so we can make bullets."
Yeah, Quinn's a salvager, so she would be into that.
And which one what was Quinn's character?
Quinn was the hippie.
The one
The creative. She was a creative adept / explorer, because I hadn't decided. Awakened Dreams is her focus.
That might be interesting, having like the hippie chick hanging out with the two nerds and the pirate.
Two nerds and the pirate.
Two nerds, a hippie chick, and a pirate. Yeah. This summer on ABC.
Starring Ryan Reynolds.
Ryan Reynolds plays my character. Hippie chick.
Ryan Reynolds plays all of the characters.
Yes, there you go.
Yes, yes. I love that. I'll get him on the phone right now.
If you really want to play Quinn, though, you're explorer, and since we also have Nell as an explorer.
I mean, I
mean, I also feel like
could do.
But go ahead.
Quinn could be the adept, made more druid than ranger-ish. Then we have 2 adepts and 2 explorers.
Yeah, because she's also in the Wilderness Scouts, so knowing more druidy stuff.
And it's like Ryan was saying, it sounds like they'd be entirely different types of explorer, where Nell would be about just going out, seeing what's out there. Corin would be about getting metal and tech stuff back, and Quinn would be more about just finding natural pieces, plant life, berries, things of that nature.
I feel like I can see like a scene where like, I don't know if Corin and Isaac like hang out a lot, but they obviously know each other because obviously they go to the same school and they're both into tech. I feel like Isaac coming and being like, "So I got this thing where I get this ball and it can like invert gravity or something," and Corin's just like working on a car, and he's just like, "I really just need to get this car running, and I don't need this distraction right now."
No, but see, if you take this and you manage to put it within the vehicle's mechanism, you could actually find a way to make a flying car.
I feel like he would just shoot. And then he just pulls out a gun and shoots the thing and gets reprimanded because he wasted a bullet.
So I'm hearing that people are kind of not kneeling, leaning, not kneeling, leaning. We are leaning towards Nell, Quinn, Isaac, and Corin. Is that what we want to set?
I love this group.
I'm cool. I'm cool with it. I'm
good.
I just want to make sure we're all playing what we want. I like no one's first choice was to be just the brute who hurts things. That was everybody's third choice. Is just like,
Lonnie is still my second choice, but like she's still not a brute that beats stuff up. She's just big and strong.
I will say this, Marcus could be my second choice if we really think we need like a broody guy. Not a broody guy, a brutish guy. I could totally play Marcus, but if not, Corin's.
I think we'll be fine with that. We'll approach fights creatively
Yeah.
until Nell messes it up.
We will have
We're
to.
we're the salvaging
Well-
crew.
Nell will approach fights in the coolest way possible, which probably won't work well, but it won't just be charging in there. It'll be charging in with style.
Oh man, you're gonna really. Yeah, Corin and Nell are gonna have issues because Corin's definitely that one where like, so we got to go in here. Okay, here's what the geography's like. So if we sweep in this way, and then somebody can do this.
And where'd Nell go?
Where's and then he just turns back to the side. Nell's gone already. Like where? Oh no, she was the crux of this plan.
So let me ask you this then: this group of 4 characters, what is their bond that holds them together?
Love.
The friends they
tape.
made along the way.
Duct tape.
We're not there yet.
The desire, I think it's the desire to get out of town and just explore the new world. I think that's our big
Just
thing.
finding new stuff.
Maybe that's the thing is
biggest
because all
thing.
four of our characters were very much like we're not staying here.
Yeah.
Yeah, Quinn's got no beef with anybody. She just likes finding new stuff.
Yeah, and like I mentioned, Isaac seemed to have an issue with like figuring out what way to make his madcap science experiments fit within the system. So maybe leaving town would be better.
Now he is just anarchic.
Corin just wants to tinker with stuff and build new stuff and
Freedom on the road.
yep. He definitely does not want to be. He doesn't want to go into military like his family.
Okay. So, with that in mind, with these particular characters, what education track do they pick at the Newcastle General School?
Like
Salvage?
career path?
Yeah.
Salvage.
Yeah.
Salvage.
I
Now, did
would-
Corin's parents actually let him pick salvage?
Literally, his mom is very much like, I want you to do what you want to do, and his dad is very much not.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things where he's picked salvage against his father's wishes, and his father's not happy about it, and is probably continually trying to convince him to not. But Corin has essentially decided, when I leave, you have no say in what I do anyway.
I think Isaac went with labor, just because that seemed to be. Although I can make it salvage. That way we all have that in common. I assumed that it was labor because that would have been the most his way of fitting in within the hierarchical system. But he's more concerned with whatever. So we can make him salvage.
I mean, labor is fine too. I'm picturing sort of a setup where he doesn't want to leave town, but all his friends are, so he's getting drug along.
Yeah, we probably
Bye.
talked you into doing salvage with us.
I could see that.
Literally every character that I brought here today is salvage.
There is also a lot of old tech out there that may or may not be affected by magic, so...
Well, that's one thing
Yeah,
Corin
that would be-
likes, is he likes tech, and man, there's so much tech just lying around now. He's definitely tried to strip like every vehicle within like a safe radius.
All right. So, chat, we would love to hear what questions you have for these characters. Tentastorm, remind me who they are again. I only really remember Nell. All right. So we've got Aaron is playing Quinn, a creative. Do we choose Adept or Explorer?
I think we were gonna do Explorer.
Explorer?
Yeah.
All right. So we got
With
3 Explorers
Awakened
then.
Dreams.
I thought we were doing Adept, and we'd have 2 Adepts, 2 Explorers.
Oh, I didn't know. I thought we were. It doesn't matter.
I mean, it's whatever you want.
Both work. Both work.
Yeah, both work.
Yeah.
So.
I'm gonna mark down here. I got my notes. Quinn is a halfling.
Yes.
Makes her own books and is kind of a salvage hippie.
Definitely makes her own paint too out of stuff she finds, berries.
Tight.
Yeah. Yeah, she's very resourceful.
John is going to be playing Isaac Patterson, an inquisitive tech adept who conducts weird science as a major dork, an elf, and wants to convert tech into, or infuse tech and magic. Which I think's awesome. And didn't expect that to happen this season, but it's happening this season. I already got plans.
Oh, fun.
I think every main series on the channel has an artificer.
Yeah.
Guys,
It's a
look at
theme
this.
of the channel.
Look at this thing I've created. What do you... Oh, Isaac, what do you call it? I call it Warforged.
There's just one problem. I
No.
can't turn it off, and once I hit this button right here, it's going to kill everything within its sight. This button.
Now,
Right.
now pushes the button.
Yeah. Okay. And there went the party.
Corin shoots you both.
And then Corin, Tyler's character, is a Dragonkin, intelligent tech explorer who calculates the uncalculable. His parents were in the military. He's very lazy. He likes firearms, and he wants to leave home.
Think Shikamaru from Naruto, if anybody watches
Nope.
Naruto. Chat.
Nope.
Chat.
No.
I don't.
It's for chat.
Oh my gosh,
That one's for chat.
is Tyler the only person here who's watched Naruto?
I know of Naruto.
Well,
Lame.
I know of it
watched-
too. It exists.
Lamos,
It's a
it's
show.
a good.
I
It's a good.
watched.
Lamos, it's a
Is
good
that the
show.
one with the bugs?
I watched.
No,
the
it's
first
not the
season.
one with the bugs. That's Shino. You don't want to do this with me.
No. Naruto's the one whose son is named Burrito.
That's pretty close, actually. That's pretty close.
Nah, Boruto.
So
don't want to get those fans up.
Chessa T
Darn.
wants to know who has a dog and what is their dog's name. Characters
talking
here,
about-
not you.
Oh,
Ooh.
Yeah. I will not take an animal out into this world. I don't want to risk losing it.
Aww.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I just came up with the backstories off the top of my head. I don't know if the Pattersons, what kind of pets they would have kept, because I haven't thought about what the kind of family dynamic that is.
Quinn's mom probably has a dog. She just lives with her mom, but Quinn would not take the dog with them. She's definitely got a dog. Her mom's got a dog, small dog. Yeah. Its name is Rufus, for sure.
Okay,
Now he-
Rufus.
Rufus.
Go ahead, Clarity. Sorry, didn't mean to
I was
interrupt you.
now he probably made friends with the local stray dog, who she just calls dog.
Aw.
Yeah.
Perfect. That dog
We'll
just
hang out-
follows
we'll
us
hang out
along.
under the
Follows
bridge.
us along the way. We get all the way out of town. Dog's just like 100 feet behind us.
All right. Chat, what other questions do you have for these fantastic characters? I'm going to come up with some more questions here. If they don't come up with any, let's go ahead and go to what clubs or activities are they involved in?
Isaac's in STEM, both before and back when he was just science and tech, and then even now that it's magic, that was where he took part in.
Corin is in STEM as well. He's more mathematics and like machinery than like biology or anything, but and he's also against his will in Castle Guard auxiliary training.
Wonder who signed him up for that.
Yeah, he's not.
Don't you get to use guns?
Literally the
That
only
was-
thing that gets him through it
Yep.
is the fact that he gets to use what few firearms they have. Probably like one.
Now,
or two.
being on the Castle Guard Auxiliary also gives you first choice of sports team to be on. Is he on a sports team?
No.
Fair enough.
They told him that,
kind
and
of
he said
sports?
no.
No, I'm not doing it.
What kind of sports exist?
There's a wrestling team.
Okay.
There is a couple different volleyball teams. There's a swim team. And there is a baseball and a football team and basketball as well. But the thing is, they have one game a year, all of these, against one of the other towns. Oh, thank you, Chestatee. We established hockey is huge in this town during our world building session. They meet for one game a year against the other rival settlements, the Duluth Union and the Knights of Snelling. And that's really it. Otherwise, they just play other teams kind of within the community. So it's sort of more like a intramural kind of thing. And there is sort of a bigger hockey presence that the different villages each have their own hockey team that they compete against each other with.
Marcus, who I'm not playing, but I spent enough time on to he's real to me now. He got kicked off of the wrestling and the hockey team because he punched people.
Oh my
Lonnie
gosh, he's
would have
Happy
definitely
Gilmore.
been
Feel
on.
free to use him as an NPC.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, these could all be NPCs in this world.
Yeah. All of our not used characters.
You're gonna
What's
get
he
picked
doing?
on by
One
your
shot?
Meet this
characters.
big orc as we pass by the lumber mill. Just waves, "Hi, you're my new friends."
For
We'll
like
do a one
getting,
shot where it's all members of the athletic teams.
we're in like a confrontation with like a group of school bullies or something. Marcus just runs out and he's like, "Heard there was a fight."
No, one shot, that's essentially the Mighty Ducks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lonnie would have been a goalie
Nice,
for sure.
nice.
Marcus
what
is
about-
definitely one of the Bash brothers?
Quinn and Nell, any after-school activities that they're involved with?
Nellie is a member of the school band because her father forced her to be a member of the school band, and she plays percussion because she doesn't have the breathing capability to do the wind instruments.
Mm.
Fair.
Yeah, Wilderness Scouts.
Miss Scouts.
Good point.
So-
Chestatee says he wouldn't get kicked off the hockey team for punching people.
Exactly. In fact,
Lonnie-
they probably moved him from the wrestling team
I
to
will
the hockey
always miss
team.
her.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
they kicked him off the wrestling team and said, "You got to play hockey, man."
Tentastorm says, R.I.P. Lonnie, I will always miss her. Lonnie's still around. Lonnie exists. Lonnie's in the world.
Hey, none of us know how long these characters are going to survive.
Yeah,
so
maybe
Exactly.
Lonnie would be
Anything
That's a
could
good
happen.
point,
some of
actually.
us might be rolling up
Quinn's
some
gonna
new
die.
characters in a few weeks.
I mean, I could still be Lonnie. I just don't know how Lonnie would fit in with the rest of the
No,
people.
Aaron's the only one of us are playing as two characters. It's now
I'm
five-
playing
it's
as
now-
Lonnie and Quinn. I'll get a wig.
Just one person, actually.
Yeah.
Any other we do have a question from Chestatee that is so great. Everybody get ready for this one. What's everybody's least favorite color?
Orange
Orange.
in real life and all my characters.
Gray.
Orange,
Uh,
gray.
Isaac would probably be brown.
Gray, brown, orange, orange. All right.
Honestly, Nellie would probably abhor pink more than anything else.
Speaking of color, can my dragonkin be blue?
Absolutely.
Cool.
And to that end, we've got a halfling, a dragonkin, an elf, and whatever Nell is.
I think we decided Sea Elf for now.
Sea Elf.
At least partly Sea Elf. At least half Sea Elf.
And absolutely possible to, kind of have hybridization of different fantasy races and everything, because everybody was human until about 10 years ago, so your parents might be one orc and one elf. Any other questions, chat? Not really getting any, so I think we're going to close that off here. Thank you very much for participating in that chat, and thank you very much, players, for presenting all these amazing characters and making a very hard decision about who was going to be on this team of salvagers. So I think that's going to be a really good bond between them, and I can see some really cool things happening with this group as they try to head out of town. With that, we're about done tonight, but I do want to have one little conversation about safety tools and boundaries. Channel-wide, we use a very basic safety tool system, or it can be used in games if the DM employs it. Essentially, it's just the yellow card, red card system. If you're familiar with that, or if you're not, I'm going to explain it anyways, so I don't really care if you're familiar with it. We're going to just go right into it. In our Zoom chat, if a topic is coming up that is making you uncomfortable, or you kind of want to move on, you can just type in their yellow card, and we will go ahead and transition to the next scene. We will pursue other avenues of fun and entertainment. If something is a hard stop, that's a red card. And in that case, we will stop that scene right there, and we will move on to something else. In general, things to note about the games that I tend to run, I came to the realization that my games tend to be horror-based recently, but this one probably won't be. It'll be more an exploration-based sort of thing. So it's going to be a very open-ended world, and where you want to go and what you want to do is going to be up to you. But we aren't going to have any adult scenes. Those will all be fade to black if they happen at all. You are welcome to try to romance NPCs, but I'm not really good at that, so be kind to your game master. But yeah, if you have any particular boundaries that you want to set, we will discuss that during your one-on-ones, and I will have a list of things to try to steer away from during the show. So, all right. Any questions on our safety tools or boundaries? Okay. Number one thing, though, we want to make sure this is fun, yes, but we also want to make sure that it is a safe experience for all of our players, that everybody is comfortable and having a good time while they play. Because while we are trying to have a good time and show all the lovely people who are watching a good time as well, we want to make sure that you want to come back and play again next week. So do not hesitate to bring up the yellow cards or red cards or anything. Don't hesitate to talk to me outside a game if there's an issue. I want to make this a good experience for you. So, all right. Unless anybody else has anything they want to discuss, we'll move into closing announcements. Anybody? Announcement or discussion? All right. So channel announcements. Sunday, I think, is our next programming day. Yeah. Sunday at 4 p.m. Central Time, we have a little bit more paint where our host, Hannah, is going to continue her work on something the Persephorant, which we determined is a dwarven word that means really glittery. So she's currently painting a dwarf villain, I believe.
Dwarfs known for their glitter.
Whirligig. That was his name. Whirligig the Persephorant. Great name.
Nice.
Nice.
Following that, at 7 p.m. Central Time, we have Dungeon Sphere, which, if you haven't watched it, you can catch up on all the episodes now on YouTube, where you can watch it at 1.5 speed and get through all 7 episodes, because Sunday's episode, I believe, Team Reaper is going to be taking on their first Exit Guardian. Oh.
How did you know I was doing that, Ryan?
Catching up on YouTube? I have awakened dreams, so
It calculates the incalculable.
there you go. Speaking of YouTube, we also do have some episodes of The World's Greatest Dungeon up on there. Our world building 2-part stream that we did for After the Fall is up on there now. And this episode is going to be up on there tomorrow. So if you want to review it and start making fan art or something, go for it. Then, yeah, our next episode, our next stream after Sunday will be Wednesday's World's Greatest Dungeon, our flagship show, which is entering the finale. Ooh, it's going to be a big one. And probably multiple episodes for the finale. So, all right. Does anybody have any announcements they would like to make about their own channels or programming that they're doing?
I'm hoping to get some episodes out before we next meet. The only reviews would be Spirit Untamed, which DreamWorks brought back Spirit as a Netflix show and made it about girls riding horses instead of, the horse. But I watched the movie, and then I'm watching the new Conjuring. So reviews for that, and then I just recorded a whole bunch for a tier list video that I'm hoping to finally get out there.
Awesome. Is that a spinoff of Spirit Stallion of the Cimarron or something like that?
Yeah, the whole thing spun off from Spirit Stallion of the Cimarron. They dug it out from the attic and decided to make it more like, I can't remember the name of the series. There was like an old series of books about like a horseback riding club, and I can never remember the name of it. But it's basically that sort of thing. Where
the Hardy Boys? Was it the Hardy Boys? I think it was the Hardy Boys.
Probably the Hardy. Probably it was. No, it was the Boxcar Children.
Clearly, it was.
There you go. Oh, right. Yeah.
It was the Animorphs. How dare you?
Yeah, exactly.
They were the horses.
No,
I could never read those books.
Yeah,
they disturbed me too much.
Fair.
I mean, you're not wrong. It got really weird at one point, but so there's a Netflix series that's been going on since 2017, and it's that whole thing is got itself a movie. And DreamWorks said put it in theaters because apparently they expected people to go outside to see it this time.
And yet they canceled Glow. Honestly.
Yeah.
The nerve of some studio executives.
Seriously.
Well, I look forward to seeing those reviews. Anybody else want to talk about what they're doing?
You can just see me on Twitch Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays.
What are you playing?
Video games. Right now I'm playing Dark Souls on Tuesdays.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah, first run.
Uh-huh.
And then Wednesdays has kind of become No Man's Sky Day. And Thursdays been kind of open to whatever I feel like playing. I played Slime Rancher for the first time yesterday. That's an adorable little game. But yeah, that's me.
I hear good things.
That's where you find me.
I highly encourage people to check out her Tuesday stream.
My Dark Souls.
It's my favorite so far.
Tyler, are you up to anything?
You will find me streaming when I finally get the time to stream. Outside of that, I wrote a book a while back that I would like everybody to please go buy and read. It's called Load Custom Character. You can find it on Amazon. It's a sci-fi fantasy novel. Please go give me money and I will give you a book and you can read it.
Give me money exchange.
I have I've had people tell me that it made them cry and not in a bad way. That's my pitch.
Okay.
That's a good quote for the dust jacket.
It's the only quote.
Let's get some more quotes for that dust jacket, people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right. Well, with that, I think we are at an excellent stopping point, but we will be back next Wednesday at 7 p.m. with Nell, Quinn, Isaac, and Corin as they...
Wednesday?
Did I say Wednesday?
I
meant
Wednesday.
Friday.
Yeah, it was like...
Thank you.
We're switching it up. Surprise!
No, we won't.
Good luck with that.
Yeah. Ryan just shows up and nobody else is here.
Hello? Where is everybody?
Now Ryan plays all the characters.
That was my plan all along.
That as a person I can relate. That's just called writing a book.
That's what that is. Yes. Well, we will be back next Friday at 7 p.m. For episode 1 of After the Fall with these awesome characters. I'm super excited. I hope you are too. Players, are you excited?
Yes.
Woohoo!
All right. That's excitement. I like it. All right. We will see you then. And until then, do check out our other streams. Bye, everybody.
See ya.
Bye.